Welcome back to Broken Electronics. I'm Lee, and I'm so glad you could take the time to join me today. And what we're doing today is looking into the latest release of Sequioa. Just yesterday, as the time of this recording, Apple dropped Sequioa 15.3.1. And obviously by being the point 1, this is a security update. Now, the thing is, Apple in the release notes, at least at the time that I've looked at it, is not telling us a whole lot about what the security hole was that it's patching here. But we're going to go ahead and install it. Now, you can see by the quality of this little intro, I'm still dealing with the built-in camera on the 2010 Apple LED Cinema display because my very nice webcam that I've got doesn't work. Very simply. And we talked about that some in the last video, of course, and video before that. This has been an ongoing problem. Now, just last night, as I was getting things ready to go with this, the channel Jesse's Flying, which is quite a good channel, I recommend it to you if you want to take a look at it, dropped a video on 15.3.1, and one of the little notes in the title was something like issue with the 5,1. Which obviously piqued my interest. I figured, well, maybe I'd better look at this. If there's some serious problem, I might want to rethink what I'm doing here with this video. Turns out the problem was the camera doesn't work. Hey, guy, you could have asked me. I could have told you that. It hasn't worked since Sequoia came out in the first place. And that's been a problem. For me, it's a problem. For some people, they won't really care. They may not even use the camera. I do. And it was kind of interesting, though. He did find exactly the same thing. He was using an LED cinema display, and in his experience, just as in mine, the built-in camera in the monitor works to the extent that it does. It's a 14-year-old camera now, but it does work at least. The USB camera is recognized, and when you start up OBS, for example, the light on the camera is a little blue light that comes on and then goes out, and there's no picture. If you look in the system profiler, it sees the camera, but there is no picture. I have found, of course, that in Sonoma, and I just this afternoon installed the corresponding update in Sonoma on my main 5,1 Mac Pro, there's no problem. The camera works fine. All right. He and I went back and forth in the comments a little bit. I am hopeful that now that a channel that's got a little bit more relevance, if you will, in the YouTube space, has discovered this problem, maybe that'll attract a little bit more attention to it, because I'm not sure the developers of OCLP have done much with it at all. And I think that because in researching it on the internet, I found one thread on Reddit, a pretty short one, and one somewhere else. I think it was Mac Rumors. I should look that up, I guess. But anyhow, I looked at both of those. It seemed to me that while the original posters were encountering the problem, the one or two people who were trying to answer didn't have the problem and were just troubleshooting various ideas because none of their suggestions worked. I know, I tried them. Okay, so hopefully something will happen And I'm very hopeful when we do finally get a new release of OCLP, maybe we'll see at least the beginnings of a fix. Uh, as far as 15.3.1, we're still on OCLP 2.2.0. There should be no problem. But I'm going to go through the installation so we can see. Hopefully, we'll try to make that after this long introduction. We'll try to make the rest of the video a little bit quicker. So if you want to see it, please stay tuned. Okay, we're going all camera capture here. Let's open up system settings. Software update available. 15.3.1. Update now. Agree. Downloading the updates. Now, while it's doing this, one thing in the most recent video, the 15.3 video, you may recall that I had a great deal of difficulty trying to get logged into the computer because the keyboard was simply not, I wasn't getting much response out of it. Okay. I have hopefully solved that by enabling automatic login. So ideally, assuming that all works, and it certainly seems to be, the computer will just log in. I'll get to the desktop, which should make it easier for me to then install the root patches and get the machine going again. Okay, 35 minutes. Now, there's something to be said for the Apple Silicon Macs because the downloads are so small, they go in a couple of minutes. Well, anyhow, stay tuned. Well, the download's finished. No, it didn't take 36 minutes, but it did take a bit over 20, which is a long time when you're just sitting here watching it. And the preparation, 35 minutes remaining. Interestingly, I updated my Apple Silicon Macs already. They also would say 35 minutes of preparation, but it wasn't anything like that. Maybe 10. It went pretty quickly. But this isn't an Apple Silicon Mac then, is it? Stay tuned. Interesting that it just said 35 minutes forever, until suddenly, bang, it's ready to go. All right, let's get this underway. Okay. And welcome back to the reflective screen. And you can see the screen from my M4 Pro Mac Mini behind me there. All right, we shall bring you back when something happens. Stay tuned. So we're in the first restart. The secondary display has become active. I'm expecting that fairly soon here we'll see the boot manager, the OCLP open core boot manager show up. And there it is. Now, true to form, the Apple, I actually switched now. I've got an Apple Magic keyboard and trackpad here, and they're not there. But we've popped right in, and here we go. So far, really smooth. Going so fast, it's can't really tell what's happening. All right, we'll let this run. Stay tuned. Interesting. You can see there, if you look through that, it says entering Ramrod execute command with config. And we're into the ramrod display. I'd never actually seen that initial entering ramrod execute command before. I've always noticed this, and this is going to go on for a while. It does slow up. And I always stop and mention what's happening, so I guess I needed to do that. Stay tuned. Okay, so we had another restart. Screen went black. We now have the secondary display again active, and we should see, we expect the boot, OpenCore bootloader again. And there we go, and the installer is done. Trackpad isn't moving the cursor at all. All right. And we should get into Apple logo with progress meter pretty soon. Stay tuned. Evidently, my wish is its command, because here it is within maybe 5 or 6 seconds. Am I having ended the last clip? Nothing to tell us how long this is going to be. It will be several minutes. It's a smaller Apple logo, which is something. So, stay tuned. Okay, that was pretty quick. We got a quick burst of verbose mode, then another reboot, and we're waiting now for the OpenCore bootloader. Which should appear any time. And there it is. The USB mouse is active, which is why I connect USB mouse and keyboard. But it was turned around backwards, so I couldn't get to it in any time. Okay, and this should get us to another Apple logo with progress meter, and this upcoming one should take a while. So stay tuned. Okay, here we're in the primary display. We've got the small Apple logo and progress meter. This will probably take a while. I was kind of expecting it would tell me how long. Maybe it will. Oh, I actually got a working cursor up there. I don't know what I do with it, but that's, yeah, okay, and it is saying about 9 minutes remaining. Okay, stay tuned. So it says less than a minute remaining. And here, bang, we're automatically up here. I was about to make the comment that less than a minute is usually pretty accurate, and that was way less than a minute. I harken back to the old days of Mac OS 10, where less than a minute remaining could be half an hour. All right. Looking at this here, obviously we're here on the desktop. I was hoping that OpenCore Legacy Patcher would jump up and offer to install the root patches. One thing I should note, though, I had specifically reset in the user settings that we would have automatic login, and it did, so I avoided that very painful typing in that we saw in the last one. All right, so we'll just go to the OpenCore Patcher, post-install root patch, start root patching. Now, it's downloading the kernel debug kit. My understanding was that this security update did not have a kernel debug kit. And it was interesting to note when the update was downloading, OCLP did not jump up to pre-download the kernel debug kit. So it actually should find it being the same as the 15.3 KDK. All right. Let's save it a little time. Stay tuned. It's popped right into the root patching now. Whether it downloaded anything or not, I don't know. This usually goes fairly quickly, and we should end up... Oh, that's interesting. I just automatically started using the Magic Trackpad. It's working fine. That's pretty cool. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, we're now at the point of rebooting. Interesting. I'm awfully glad to see the Magic Trackpad working, and we should... It's still talking about downloading KDK. All right. Well, let's sit with this a bit. We're seeing the shutdown verbose mode. Okay, stay tuned. Interesting to note the final reboot here, coming up with hopefully with the root patches installed, does have a chime. When you have there are 3 or so intermediate reboots during the installation. None of them chime, but there is a chime immediately before this one, and here we are. Nope, we don't have Bluetooth. That's interesting to note. We do not have Bluetooth in the OCLP bootloader, even though we did when booted into the system without the root patches. Come on. There we go. Okay, very quick here. Main screen. Come on. Okay, and here we are, everything working as it should be. And you'll note, yeah, the answer to the problem of the very slow response to the keyboard when trying to log in is to enable automatic login. If you do that, then it's just going to log in. And of course, once you have installed the update, you can always re-enable or disable the automatic login. So you'd have to come in again if there's a problem about security in your living space or workspace. Okay. About this Mac. 15.3.1, here we are, everything working as it should. Seeing the two 3.46 gigahertz 6-core Intel Xeons, and the graphics card, everything is there. All right. Memory 96 gig, yeah, we're good on that too. Okay, so this has been totally successful. Honestly, I'm not even going to try the camera. If magically it starts working, maybe I'll pop in with another clip, but it's not going to Jesse's Flying has already discovered that, even though it had been a problem for quite a while. So, in any event, other than the camera not working, things seem to be just fine with 15.3.1. Feel free to install it. Be good to other people. They need it and deserve it. Be good to yourselves. We will make this world a better place. I know it doesn't always seem like it, but we will. It has to start with being good to ourselves. The world is not a better place, so please take very, very good and careful care in these increasingly difficult times. All right, in any event, where are we going on the channel from here? I'm not anticipating anything to come up soon. If there is another OCLP version that pops up, maybe with a fix to the camera, obviously I'll jump on that. The next big thing I would be looking at would be dealing with the internal storage on the base model M4 Mac Mini, which has been behaving really well. So hopefully that'll get up there. And we've got some other ideas popping in we will get to eventually in any event. So until those things are up and available on the channel, this has been Broken Electronics.